Holiday Pop Spectacular with the Columbus Symphony Orchestra is coming to Chillicothe as well as Circleville the weekend of December 18th and 19th. And of course, we will have them at Ohio University Chillicothe as well as Ohio Christian University. More details all in the post here, but coming up in a moment, we will talk with Ron Jenkins. He is the conductor for this Holiday Pops Spectacular. That's coming up right after this from the Ross-Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's our pleasure to have with us the conductor of the touring Holiday Pops from the Columbus Symphony Orchestra, Mr. Ron Jenkins. Thank you again for joining us here today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure, Dan. Good to see you.
You are on the road with this show. You're going to tour not only here in Chillicothe, but also in Circleville. You've got a trip to Nelsonville, and this is going to be a lot of fun for folks in our communities.
Right. And it's good for us too. It's to get out of Columbus, outside of Franklin County, and get to meet the people and play for the people. It's we really look forward to it. And we played in Nelsonville before. We've given a concert in Circleville just a couple of years ago. It has been a long time since we've been to Chillicothe as an orchestra. Me personally, I've been there, but to Chillicothe. So we're really looking forward to getting back there in your community.
We had some ensembles here a couple of years ago performing at the Adena Mansion and Gardens for the birthday of Thomas Worthington at that time. But as you mentioned, as an orchestra, much different circumstances. What's it like to take this show on the road for you folks?
Well, it's really fun, and as opposed to performing in our wonderful venue that we have at the Ohio Theater and other places that we play in town. The Southern Theater is one of them, and sometimes in some of the larger local churches or community centers. But it's great to get out into the country, and I call it the country. It's just outside of the city limits of Columbus, because it's beautiful. I mean, Ohio is gorgeous, even at this time of the year. I hope we have a little snow, but not too much, so that we can actually get there. It's fun. There's a lot of organization that has to take place with the music, the librarian, and loading stuff up and instruments up, and a bus for the orchestra to get on and make the trip. So there's all those things that you would have to plan if you were yourself taking a little vacation. A one-day vacation, but you got to have everything: your bow tie, your instrument, of course, and my conducting glasses, and those sorts of things.
And you must have the baton as well.
Oh, the baton. Yeah, it's very interesting that you bring that up. I take 3 with me in case I ever break one, but the baton that I use, my father gave to me when I was in graduate school and about 21 years old, and decided I wanted to be a choral conductor, and he gave me a baton, and I've never used any other baton since that time. So it's a very special thing to me, actually.
That's fantastic. I know that you'll be in different venues, and I know that presents a challenge for professional musicians. It's one thing for anyone just coming and trying to sing in a different venue of a church in our community. But for those of you who do this for a living, it has to be a bit of a challenge for you there too.
Ideally, we could have a rehearsal in the space, and the singers, the 2 singers we have, could try to sing in the space and the instruments, so that we get a feel for it. We're going to be, the first number we'll play, we'll begin to adjust to the hall and the acoustics of the hall that we're in. The singers, we will get there a little early so that they can just do some warm-ups in the room and see how it feels. And all 3 venues are very different. I've never been to the one in Chillicothe, Nelsonville, yes, and Circleville. So it will be different, but that's also makes it a new experience, and keeps everyone on their toes, so to speak.
It does indeed. Well, I've seen a number of tribute bands perform where you'll be performing, OU-Chillicothe's Shoemaker Center. It's a gymnasium, so It's not exactly built for orchestra music, but I have a feeling everyone's going to enjoy what they hear.
Yes, I think that's true. And we're bringing a program, it's wide variety of program. I mean, would you like to hear about some of the music that we're
Oh,
doing?
absolutely. Yes.
Well, it's I'd like to say this is your one concert that you can go to, and you're going to hear a little bit of everything of the holiday season of what you would like to hear. You're going to hear carols, a lot of carols. You're going to hear the orchestra play them. You're going to hear the soloists sing them. And then we're going to invite the audience, 4 or 5 times to sing along with us on various carols. There'll be a printed program so they can follow the words for all those folks that don't know the second verse of something. But then we are also going to do some of the classical music of the holiday season, music that was specifically written for this time of year, an excerpt from Humperdinck's Handel and Gretel, for instance, that was premiered on December 23rd, 1891, I think, and has always been performed around Christmas time. We're going to do a little excerpt from Handel's Messiah. We're going to do the beautiful Bach Uno, Ave Maria, but those are some of the things in the classical portion of the season. There's going to be a quiz in the concert for the audience. We're going to play an arrangement of Carol of the Bells, which I think everyone knows, but hidden in this arrangement are 4 other Christmas carols. So I'm going to ask them when it's over to identify that, and it'll be just a little test to keep them sharp and to be able to identify these other carols. I'm trying to, I don't know if you know the Appalachian Carol, I Wonder as I Wander Out Under the Sky, beautiful piece. And it comes from our folk style of music. It's just exquisitely beautiful. And there's a brand new arrangement of this piece done by a colleague of mine in California, and we're going to play it for the audience, a fantasy on an Appalachian Carol. We're also going to do a spiritual, a beautiful piece by Robert McGimsey. We have a phenomenal soloist, 2 phenomenal soloists actually, and he will sing that one in a brand new arrangement with the strings from the orchestra. We're going to ask the audience to sing along on Come All Ye Faithful and Hark the Herald Angels Sing and The First Noel and Silent Night, and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. We're going to try to arrange to pick someone from the audience to come up on stage and conduct Leroy Anderson's sleigh ride. You should go to the concert, put your name in the hat. Then we're going to do some of the popular pieces of Christmas, the one that was written during World War II, which has a little nostalgia and sadness to it. I'll Be Home for Christmas, beautiful piece. But if you remember, it's If Only in My Dreams, and it's almost as if the people that were serving to defend our country during World War II singing the song of knowing that they weren't going to be home for Christmas, but it'll only happen in their dreams. But a beautiful piece. Oh, the wonderful Winter Wonderland. And if it's impossible to sit there, it's almost impossible to sit there and listen to that and not kind of sing the words too. And the audience will have permission to do that. It's the most wonderful time of the year. We'll include, I think that hits most of them. We begin with like an overture to a musical play on Broadway, which always has some of the hit tunes that you're going to hear during the rest of the performance of the musical. Well, we're opening up with Leroy Anderson's original Christmas festival, the one that the Boston Symphony Orchestra, Pops Orchestra, recorded many years ago. And there's a shorter version of that. We're doing the whole thing with all the carols. It's a medley of carols, and many of those carols will come back in other ways during the concert for the audience to sing, or the soloist to sing, or the orchestra to play arrangement about. Jingles Bells will be in there. This is beginning to sound like some 5-hour concert, I know, but it's really not. It's a normal length concert, and there's just, it might sound just a little, I don't know, tacky, but to say I call this concert your one-stop shopping for all your Christmas music. Come to this and you're going to hear a little bit of everything that you like to hear. Classical music for the holiday season, popular music for the holiday season, carols to sing, some sacred music. We're doing a beautiful setting of a holy night that you'll enjoy. I can't say enough about some of the outstanding members of the orchestra that will have solos in this. And I don't want to leave somebody out, but there's just major solos from members of the orchestra and extremely talented people. And our two soloists, Hannah Rollins, both of them sing in the chorus, the symphony chorus. Arthur Marks was a star on Broadway and did lots of things before he really decided he wanted to pursue his second career, which is social work, which brought him to Columbus. And that was great. And we grabbed him for the symphony course. He's amazing. He's a man with, are you ready for this? And you know a little bit from trombone. He has a 4-octave range.
Oh my.
4 octaves from low C, way down there where the bass trombone plays, all the way up to high C, which the highest soprano can sing. And it's just, and he will demonstrate that in the various, he will sometimes sing in that higher, he's called a sopranist. Some people might call him a countertenor, but he's really a sopranist. And he sings up in that high range. It's just amazing. Or he can sing in the tenor baritone range, and some of the music he will sing will be in that range also. So it just, the first time you hear him sing, it just, what? How is that possible? How can he sing that high? But he does, and he used to be an entertainer. He did Sport and Life and Porgy and Bess on Broadway. He's just got a lot of pizzazz and wonderful communication with an audience.
Sounds like he could be a one-man chorus in some respects.
Well, well, I'll tell you, Dan, the first time he came in and auditioned for me, he sang, I said, because I was picking solos for Messiah and the Handel Messiah. And so he sang the opening tenor aria, Comfort Ye, Every Valley Shall Be Exalted. And I said, wow, that was wonderful. You want to show me your higher voice in the countertenor, I was calling him then, before I learned that the real name is sopranist. And so he sang that He Shall Feed His Flock, which is normally sung by an alto or a countertenor. And it never really stops. It just moves straight into the next aria, which is for soprano, Come Unto Him. And so I thought, okay, fine, I'm just going to keep playing here on the piano. And he started in on that, and it was even more brilliant. And so he got finished, and I said, that's amazing. So if I was hiring people, a quartet for a Messiah, you could do tenor, you could do the alto part, you could do the soprano part. All I'd have to do is get a bass. And he said, actually, Ron, I can do those too. All humility, because he's just not an arrogant guy at all. He just was stating a fact. He could do those too. So obviously we wouldn't. We chose him for one. I would probably always have him do, well, I'm not going to say, because I'm not sure which part I'd have him, because he's really good at all of them. And so it's worth coming just to hear him sing the spiritual Sweet Little Jesus Boy. I mean, it will blow the audience's mind, quite frankly. It's that good. The other soloist is this much younger woman in the chorus. She's a mezzo-soprano, and she's just got a gorgeous voice. She will sing by herself, a cappella, and we're going to hide her somewhere in this theater so that the audience can't even see her. And do I Wonder As I Wander before the orchestra plays the arrangement of it. But she does some things on stage with Arthur, and she's one of the people that will invite the audience to sing along.
Certainly sounds like a must-see performance. It's one thing to see it in Columbus. You got to drive all the way up there, and for folks of our stature being way down here, it takes forever to get there and back, and it makes a long.
And you have to deal with all of our orange barrels everywhere. Construction barrels everywhere.
We love the Ohio Department of Transportation. We don't think anything wrong there, but to have it in our own backyard, a chance, you just can't pass on this. And we're looking at December 18th for Chillicothe. You will be in Circleville the next night. That'll be on Sunday the 19th. What's the date for your Nelsonville appearance?
Actually the Circleville one is on Sunday the 19th in the afternoon at 2:00. The Nelsonville one is this coming Saturday night. What is that? The 11th.
Okay. So you'll hit Nelsonville first and then come back to Southern Ohio the next weekend. So
that's right.
Fantastic.
That's right.
We'll go through all the ticket information through what you can see in this post, so you don't have to worry about sharing that information with us. But What about proper attire? Do we want to
Oh,
bring out the tuxes and the evening gowns, or can we just show up as we are?
be comfortable. Absolutely. If you want to make it a special night and dress up and go out to dinner before or afterwards, well, this Chillicothe concert's at 5, so it's a wonderful thing to come at 5 o'clock and then go out for dinner afterwards. You want to dress up, but also, more and more people are wearing just comfortable clothes. It's like business attire. I mean, look how the two of us are dressed here. I mean,
Exactly.
20 years ago, we probably might have had a tie on for this interview. At least I would have. So
More
I
hair.
just, yeah, and more hair, of course. So I'd say, just be comfortable. I mean, we want people to come. That's the most important thing, as to post what you wear, what you enjoy wearing. Dress up if you want or not.
I can't speak for the event in Circleville, but I do know that the Chillicothe High School Symphony will be performing before your concert here
Really?
in Chillicothe. So this is a great educational moment for a bunch of our kids here locally too, to get a chance to see professionals in action with what they do on a regular basis.
Sure. Yeah. I did not know that. That's great. That's a wonderful combination.
Well, thank you again for your time. We appreciate it. And you got my juices flowing. I'm excited to be there.
This has been really nice, Dan. I've most enjoyed it. Happy holidays to you.